Sheriff's Office, and I have with me Major Mike McLean of our Major Crimes Division at Sheriff's Office, and he'll have a brief statement and answer some questions, but just be mindful that this is still a working investigation, and there may be some questions that are off limits or that he can't get into right now. But I assure you we'll get you all the information that you're after just as soon as we can, as soon as we're able to deliver that, okay? So, Major McLean.
Sheriff's Office 911 received a series of calls approximately 6 p.m. Last night indicating there had been a shooting in the 2500 block of Emory Road. Knox County Sheriff's Office Patrol Division responded to that location and discovered one vehicle parked in the middle of the road, a white Chrysler Sebring, occupied by two white males, driver and passenger. Both appeared to be suffering from gunshot wounds. Medical personnel provided first aid. The driver of the Sebring was pronounced dead at the scene. That was Cameron Smith. And the passenger, Lucas Hollibritton, was transported to UT, suffering from what appeared to be a single gunshot wound. Multiple witnesses at the scene and call-ins indicated that around 5:50 that evening, a black Mustang two-door was aggressively following this white Sebring. First noticed in the area of Clinton Highway and Powell Road by the Food City. Those vehicles continued to chase each other, I guess is a term we could use, but they followed them aggressively, and as they turned onto Emory Road, there were shots fired by occupants of the black Mustang into the white Chrysler Sebring. The sheriff wants to thank the public for their response and for their assistance in this case. At the scene alone, there was over 15 witnesses that were interviewed. Many of them stayed an extended period of time to be interviewed, while others actually returned to the scene of the crime. We're also asking business owners that may have surveillance cameras that could possibly catch this activity. We believe between 5:45 and 6:15, if they have cameras that are pointed out towards Clinton Highway, and they might potentially observe the white Chrysler Sebring or the black Ford Mustang. It's described as having tinted windows on the Mustang. This morning, we did take possession of a black Ford Mustang. At this point, we've not confirmed whether it is in fact the vehicle we're looking for. We have two persons of interest that we're looking at, but again, nothing that can be confirmed on identity. The question of motive has been brought up a number of times. At this point, we do not have or are not aware of a motive for this. The surviving individual from the Sebring was interviewed, and he also did not have a reason on why this occurred. Questions?
We've heard that potentially drug-related. Is there any leads on that?
There are none.
Could you tell anything about the two persons of interest that were in the black Mustang? You said that yesterday was an African-American male and then a white male, correct?
It's still evolving because, again, I mentioned to you the number of witnesses that we've interviewed, and there is somewhat of a variance on the descriptions, but we are leaning towards it being two black males, light-skinned black males.
And are they in custody or just persons of interest?
Yeah, just persons of interest.
Could Could you tell us a little bit more about the shooting? How many shots were fired? Anything like that? How long did they were shooting?
At this point, I would say multiple shots, and I would say that the point to which we recovered the vehicle, where it was sitting, we believe the shooting was initiated probably within 500 yards of that location. So the shooting really didn't start until we got onto Emory a little bit, and then the shooting started, and then the vehicle stopped. So it wasn't on Clinton Highway or anywhere else that we're aware of.
Was anyone else hurt? When I was out there last night, there were a number of cars and people were coming up and asking us what happened, and there seemed to be some confusion. Some people were worried that their family members may be back there. Anyone else hurt?
No, there wasn't, but there was some concern because there were a couple other vehicles that either caught bullet fragments or around itself. So there was definitely some concern whether anyone else was hurt, and it was determined that there were no other injuries other than to the two occupants of the Sebring.
Go ahead.
How do the occupants of both vehicles know each other?
Well, we don't know on the Mustang, and friends is what we were told on the Sebring.
Was
Not
there
family members, anything like that.
Was there anything illegal found in the car, the white Sebring?
We wouldn't comment on that.
Were they able to protect themselves or retaliate or shoot back or do anything like that?
There's no indication that gunfire came from all but one direction. It was all from behind them.
Do we know how the car came to a stop? Because I mean, if they were
Well,
being shot while driving, right?
Yeah, remember the driver is shot.
Right.
Yeah, that's why it would come to a stop. Yeah,
And it didn't involve any other vehicles on the road?
it did not.
Can you reveal how many gunshot wounds Cameron Smith had?
You went out, we're putting that out, we're just simply saying both suffered gunshot wounds. Of course, Cameron was fatally.
Do they have a license plate for the black Mustang?
No, we do not, and there was some confusion on that as well, because there was a witness at one point that thought they actually did have a plate for a black Mustang, but they had obtained that well after the incident, and we've determined that vehicle was not involved. We've located that.
You said you obtained a black Mustang. Where did you find this vehicle?
On, I believe it's Cherry Street, there's a church in the city, Cecil.
How far or close is that from the scene of where the shooting occurred?
Not near the scene at all, no.
Was it abandoned?
It was.
You said today that there were shots fired by occupants of the black Mustang, whereas the press release last night said the passenger was shooting with a handgun.
Okay.
Did the driver and the passenger of the Mustang
No,
fire
just
shots?
just the
Just the passenger?
passenger is what
Okay.
what we're aware of right now.
Do we know if there's any connection with any other crimes? Are you looking into it with the occupants of the black Mustang? Is there potentially a bigger thing here, or is it just this isolated incident as far as you
Not
know?
that we're aware of. We got multiple calls on the vehicle and driving erratically and their behavior, but all related to this shooting.
Should these suspects be considered armed and dangerous? I mean,
100%.
are they a threat to the community?
I would definitely say so. Yes.
There have been a couple people who've been calling it road rage or asking if it's road rage or asking if it's a drive-by shooting. Do we know if road rage was involved at all?
We don't. We had the same questions. We're always, of course, looking for motivation in order to try to make a smaller pool of potential suspects. So in this case, we can't determine that. As I indicated, the surviving passenger said he had no idea why anyone would be shooting at him or his friend or the vehicle.
How's Lucas doing today?
I've been told he's doing very well. Very well.
And you've had the chance to interview him?
He was interviewed, yes.
Anything else we should know?
Not thinking of Chief. Anything you should know?
I don't think so.
Do you know what kind of gun was used?
We know what caliber, but we're not putting that out at this time.
Any more questions?
And look, as soon as we have something else, we'll sure Martha will get a hold of you, and we'll let you know as soon as we can, okay?
One more quick question. Are you asking for the public's help in helping to locate this black Mustang?
As the
Yes.
major said, yeah, I mean, of course, but, I mean, as he said, the public was very forthcoming last night. You know, we have a great relationship with our community, and when this sheriff's office asks for help, you know, they come forward. You know, we see all across the country that at times it gets difficult, but not here. We have a great relationship with our community, and they understand when we need help, we're asking for their benefit as well, so.
And we appreciate you putting that word
Yes.
out last night.
Yes,
Thank you.
we really do appreciate that.
So you're asking for businesses to give over any kind of security footage
Yeah, if
that
they
they
could,
have?
Sure.
there are so many. We have, obviously, as part of our protocol in the investigation, we go out and canvass for video, but many times, you know, we're along a route that maybe it's just the business just off to the side that we might miss. So it's a lot more efficient if the businesses know they have cameras that point out there. If they can look at that 30-minute period and just take a look and see if there's anything on there, and if there is, obviously contact us. And the same thing with the public. If you're in that area around that time and you happen to see a black Mustang, maybe driving erratically, maybe stopping somewhere, maybe somebody getting in or out of it, we would definitely appreciate a call on that. And as Chief said, it was impressive last night. I mean, the number of witnesses that stood there and waited their turn to be interviewed, and many returning, you know, having gone to work or wherever, returning back to the scene so we could interview them. And it provided a lot of very good information.
How do you guys feel covering something like this? Because it was difficult for us being out there, and that was y'all were out there for a long time.
Listen, the men and women that do this job every day are amazing people. They really are. They deal with death and destruction, broken families, bones, and homes. And they do an amazing job. And this is their calling. This is what they do. You know, we say it's God's work, and they do a fabulous job. Men and women he has under his command are the best in this part of the country, I assure you. So they'll get to the bottom of this as soon as they can. As soon as we know more, we'll let you know. And thank you all, and please pass that along to our public as well for all the help they give us last night and continuing to stand by us. Thanks.
The Mustang that was recovered, did it match the year that you guys thought last night, 2006, 2008?
That year is expanding.
It is expanding, okay.
Yeah, it is. There's a lot of description, as you know, with Mustangs, the way they do they get newer looking, and then they go retro. They look old again, but they're new. So we really are a much broader range on our years. We don't want the public to think that if it's not a 2006, 2008, don't call. If it's a black Mustang and you see something suspicious, we would really appreciate a call.
And you said that was found abandoned at a church on Cherry Street?
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Right off Church on Cecil, I believe.
Cecil.
Cecil, okay, great.
Do we think it's Tennessee license plates?
We don't know. We would presume, but we don't know.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.